Hey Pisces, I'm Lucy Ravenstone and welcome to my channel. So guys, we're doing a reading for May. I am using two decks for this reading. I'm only going to do a part one. I'm going to do a Mercury in retrograde reading since Mercury in retrograde is happening from the May the 10th to the 2nd of June, I believe. So I'm going to do it that way this month. Make it a little bit of extra fun, I suppose. And we can have a read of the energies that are coming in. So let's see, Pisces, what is in store for you for May. No, it's April. It's my birthday this month, May the 3rd. So it's a good month for me. I do love my birthday. Okay. Interesting. You have a similar card that's been showing up in all of our readings so far. Oh, and that one as well. Interesting. Okay, so first off we start with Extremes in Reverse. It's actually quite a sensual looking card and it is called Hot Moon. I'll show you what this card looks like. It's quite sensual, kind of loving that vibe for you Pisces. It is giving me the sensualness. It's kind of giving me sexy vibes. So I am thinking that for some of you Pisces, this could be quite a kind of passionate moment for you. How I'm doing this reading, it's kind of like the beginning of May, middle of May, and end of May. So I would say that the beginning of May is quite a passionate time. So perhaps you have high sexual drive during this time, or coming together with somebody, whether it be within your relationship or a new relationship, or you know, just a bit of fun. I'm just feeling that kind of sexual charged energy here with this first card. That's what it's thrown at me when I first look at it. I do think that this is kind of you releasing, with this being the Extremes card, I feel like this is you releasing all of kind of like pent up energy during this time. So perhaps it's been a while since you've felt this way, or that kind of something that's making you go to that extreme, because it doesn't just feel like a little bit of, you know, sexual passion. This feels like this is heat, this is hot, this is the hot moon, and this card represents. So these are from the Queen of the Moon Oracle. I am loving these. I think I'm going to use these for that Mercury in retrograde reading that I'm going to do. Again, keep a look out for that reading because I'll post that up probably after the 1st of May. We'll see what happens. Let's see what else I can get from that for you. So I am kind of drawn to the window. What is catching my eye is kind of this in the window. I feel like this is a little bit of a don't forget to stay kind of in the moment. I feel like there's a fear here with this. So this could be kind of like, maybe you're scared of losing something, that's why you're being passionate, or maybe there's a fear of just an aspect of fear around this energy. So maybe try and understand yourself on why you are feeling this way. And I don't feel like, weirdly, there's a cup of water. Now, if it was upright, I feel like this would be kind of a emotionally charged passion. But to me, I feel like your emotions are detached here. So maybe this connection is very much a sexual connection, or this is a very sexual time. But this is not fueled by your emotions. It's kind of fueled by kind of a hunger, is what I would say. So keep that in mind. Goddess of the Moon in Reverse. So I feel like you are not in tune with yourself, which is again the emotional aspect. I feel like you are kind of detaching from that. This card does come sort of I'll show you the card so you can see what I'm talking about. So upright, she is in tune with the moon. She's one with her intuition. She's trusting her vibe. Okay. Oh, thank you. Have you not sat down? No. All right. Thank you, Renberg. She is one with her cycles, you know, flowing with her emotions, flowing through the cycles of the moon. Now it's reversed, and I feel like you are just not really in touch with yourself, or maybe not fully listening to your intuition. Maybe you are literally moving instinctually rather than not even instinctually, because that could be seen as an intuitive way, but it's kind of like more, I feel like there's a drive, like you're just driving forward without actually really tuning in, is more what I'm trying to say. So I hope that makes sense. Let's see what else is next. So the next card is the man holding a coin in reverse. I definitely feel like something is out of sync with yourself. And the man holding the coin, if he was upright, it's kind of like a man could be coming into your life. I don't like putting genders onto my card, but we have the woman holding a coin and the man holding a coin in this deck. So I kind of see this more as the masculine energy, so a provider. With this being reversed, I kind of feel like this is kind of like yourself. I just feel like there's something you're not in tune with within your life. So with the first one being the cycles, I feel like that's very like emotional. You're just not really intuitively checking in with kind of your flow, your wants, your needs. And this next one, it's kind of the same. I feel like there's a hesitation or something that's not flowing in your more financial, more homely ways. I feel like my cats are knocking all of my things down. So this is more like home life, so career, financially. So to me, you are kind of in a way in autopilot is what I feel like, but kind of away from where you are taking care of your needs. I don't know, this is kind of coming through really strangely, so I hope you can apply this to your own being, because it just feels like the way that you are flowing at the moment is not in like a natural cycle. It kind of feels like you are I don't like some kind of autopilot in your way through things, rather than, you know, going from instinct or going with your vibe. I feel like there's something that's hesitation is probably in this realm. Storm warning in reverse. Again, you have all of these cards in reverse, and I'm just getting the kind of this energy where you need to be in, and it feels like it's opposing. So I really want you to kind of do a check in with yourself. Oi, Tarot. I want you to check in with yourself and just see what's kind of happening, because this storm warning can mean like things are about to shake up, but I really feel like you are kind of numb to these things. And this is kind of where I feel like with this extremes of the passionate, perhaps you are literally kind of, you know, you're feeling passionate, you're having sexy moments, but you're not allowing yourself to actually check in with the feelings around that. How does that person make you feel? How is this kind of vibe making you feel? I feel like you're just kind of being numb to it on purpose. Now I do want to say, if this is new, I kind of feel like this could be that you don't want to face how much this person could mean to you, or you don't want to kind of go in with a serious mindset. So instead you are kind of detaching from the feelings. And Pisces, you kind of have this habit, being a Pisces, you kind of hold your feelings in, is a typical Piscean trait. Obviously will depends on your chart and things like that. However, like the typical Piscean trait is to be all kind of really deep and within, so you kind of keep your emotions and feelings below the surface. Now I feel like you are doing this really kind of extended, more deeper than your usual self, and kind of in a way keeping it all from yourself. I do feel like it's just affecting you in all areas of your life though. You know, home life, social life, in all areas. I feel like you're really kind of self-imposing this not facing things kind of vibe. With this storm warning, let me have a look at it a bit deeper for you. I do feel like you are kind of running away from something. I feel like you feel like there could potentially be some kind of solid foundations ahead, but you're just kind of more in this storm of emotions going back and forth with ideas in your mind, so you're not actually facing. So it kind of leaves those future desires. So I feel like you've had goals, or you have a goal in mind, but you instantly kind of squash that and go, no, we're not thinking ahead, we're just going to live in the moment. But I feel like it's not actually working for you, is how I am vibing this whole column. I feel like this way of thinking goes against your natural self. You're not cycling with the moon, you're not going through your natural cycles. I feel like you are literally holding back. Again, I would like to point back, so I'm actually going to try holding all three of these. So I feel like you're not one with your cycles, you're not flowing correctly. It's preventing you from, you know, reaping your full potential self, of you being this man holding the coin. And so to me, how I was viewing this is like, this is where we're standing. This is you are the Number 10, it looks like in reverse, even though it's number 1. So you are standing here, and I feel like this is where this is the goals that you want to be reaching, but they're in kind of emotional waters. This is where you're like, I'm not facing that. That means I have to actually kind of be vulnerable, be emotional, kind of have to face things that maybe you're not ready to face. And so instead, you are back and forward. It's kind of a crashing. There's this storm that's between this emotional vulnerability. And see, to get what you want and what you desire, you're going to have to go, like, allow yourself to go through that storm of emotions and show your vulnerability. And I feel that's when these pillars of kind of future goals, these aspirations, this kind of solid ground that could be below these pillars will then rise to the top. That's how I am reading it for you, Pisces. So I'm kind of loving the vibe, being passionate, it isn't a bad feeling, but I do feel like you are using that as a cover-up. I definitely feel like this extremes is like you're going to extremes so that you don't have to be vulnerable. You're showing your passionate side, you're showing your kind of what you want to be seen rather than what they need to see to feel closer. So if this is ever a new relationship, or if this is a relationship that you're in where there's things that you should perhaps be showing more of yourself in, be aware that you could be kind of projecting a different thing than what you need in order to actually create something more solid, which is those pillars that we want to rise above with great foundations. And I do think as well, I want to say, if you are starting anything new, it's always good to start with the foundations. Don't skip that step. Don't try and go beyond that and think we'll deal with that later. It's like building a house. When you build a house, you're not going to start with the roof and the ceiling, are you? You're going to build from the foundations up, or else the whole thing's not going to work. Obviously, there's instances where, you can build the roof first and you can set that aside and place it on top, but it does make life harder. And I do think sometimes we literally need to look at any situation in our life like that, as though you are building a building. Because yes, there's many ways to do it, but why would you go the long way round? Okay, if you want something solid, you want to do it properly. Keep that in mind, Pisces. Now we're coming into the middle of May, so we have Mercury in retrograde. I can't speak this whole bloody time when I'm doing these readings this month. It starts on the 10th of May. Now, I feel like this is when the middle cards come into play. Now, I do feel like you have a lot of fear based in your life, and this comes with this. I do feel like fear is what's holding you back. Let me have a look at the card and what I feel like it is for you. I do feel like you don't want to be vulnerable. I feel like you see this as a sign of weakness. Pisces, being vulnerable is never a sign of weakness. If anything, how people treat you when you are vulnerable is a sign of who they are, not who you are. And so you should feel free to be who you are, and allow your vulnerabilities to show. Because when we do that, we allow ourselves to, know if the person that is on this other side, and I am looking at this very much from a relationship aspect, really, because I can feel this vibe within these columns, and really, if you want to build something strong, showing your vulnerability, showing your true feelings, going in from the beginning, it kind of shows how that person is and how they interact with you on a very personal level. And I feel like that's something that you wish to create. I feel like where you're going, or where you want to be with somebody, is solid ground, but you are just so fearful of maybe past mistakes. Now with this fear cards, I definitely get the senses of the raven, the crows. Now ravens and crows typically symbolize kind of messages, but wisdom, and kind of, to me, in these instances, I see them as wisdom that you're bringing with you. Now, these are tethered to you, these birds. The thing is, like, if we tether wisdom of past mistakes to us, where we are no longer letting them fly free and just, come and go, I feel like that's where we're not moving forward. You can't move forward freely while you're holding on to a flock of crows, can you? Like, while there are lessons there to learn, I feel like, you see here, this one's not tethered, it's free to fly, and I feel like it can come and go. So the bouts of wisdom that you've learned can come and go and, help you to embrace where you're going. Like, it's good to know, for example, I want to use relationships as a vibe, because I feel like that's very much within this month for many of us. is I feel like, for example, if you were cheated on in the past and you're coming into this new relationship and you're just thinking, relationships never work for me, it always goes the same way, they always cheat on me, or I always feel like that kind of is where it comes to. Like, if you're holding on to that, you're going into this new thing with that energy, and you're kind of attracting that kind of person to you, really, by just thinking that of others. And you don't want that. You want to know that you've come forward with these lessons, so you know what you don't want in a relationship, and that's good to know. However, you don't want to tether all of these problems, bring them into a new relationship, and then you are just being toxic within that. And this is what I'm feeling as well, because I feel like this is you, and you are holding on to all these tethered things. Now, I feel like this is your inner self. You are very vulnerable, and you are coming from an innocent place in the sense of you're genuine. What you want is close to your kind of heart, in your gut. It's what you want, but this is what you're projecting onto the outside, and it's fear-based. You're holding on to the things that are no longer serving you, that are not relevant to the future. You're holding on to the past. And again, I want to focus here on the moon. It's the waxing gibbous, and I feel like that's because this is saying let go. As we're coming into nearer the full moon, we're waxing and we're releasing. You want to be letting go of things that don't serve you, so that you can move forward, that you can stop being this vulnerable person where you're cocooned in your outer shell and projecting a more stronger, in your eyes, a stronger version that's actually toxic. It's not healthy for anybody that you invite into your life, because the healthy person's deep within, and you're not allowing yourself to show that. Quite interesting, Pisces. And this is very different as well to your previous. I feel like you are opening up now, and the vulnerability is showing. I definitely get this sense that you've been holding it in for so long that it's now just below that surface, but you are being very resistant, which is funny because we have resistance further down, but we'll get to that when we get there. So yeah, indecisive. The next one is indecision. I definitely get this sense of you fighting to and fro. You're coming up to a kind of I want to say an impasse. I feel like there's options ahead of you, but it doesn't feel like, I don't know, it doesn't feel like you're in a fork in the road. I feel that this is whether you choose to be open or whether you choose to go in and stay in this kind of fear-based way. That's what I'm giving it. I want you to know that either way, whichever way you go, it's going to lead you down a path worth taking, because I just feel like no matter what you decide, it's a way. It's your choice. You have this choice right now, and you can make it. But one way, which I feel like is if you choose to be vulnerable, I'm getting this sense of kind of the dropping away of bad habits, bad patterns of old ways, moving towards a new beginning. Or the other way feels like you can hold on to those and it's still going to be a new beginning for you, but you're going to be taking your baggage with you. So keep that in mind. It's just more, it's hard to say really. I mean, we always have many decisions, but it just feels like if you're going to choose to hold on to it, it's going to be a longer road for you, Pisces. Which is quite interesting to see. As Mercury in retrograde comes in, it will bring things to the surface and it will make you see things that you need to deal with. Keep that in mind, that Mercury has a habit of doing that, and it's not to, sometimes we can really see Mercury in retrograde as a time where it's like the world is targeting us. It can be those tower moments, but really it's just sort of saying, look, hey, this is what's not in alignment with you, especially when it comes to communication. So other people and communications that you have in your life, if there's something that's not in alignment with you, it will probably just show up, and it's just sort of saying, hey, we need to check this out. Next is hostilities, but I just feel like this is resistance from you, which again we're coming towards. I feel like this is a building up of resistance. I really do. Just the whole reading of this for me is just vibing through this resistance for you, and I do feel like it's coming from a vulnerable place. I'll show you the imagery. And I feel like this is kind of like you are kind of defensive. However, your helmet's off. I feel like you don't want to be the hostile one, but these defenses are there within you because you are kind of on guard. I feel like you're protecting your heart, you're protecting something like your own emotional self. I do feel like you are just very vulnerable deep within, and this is just kind of like really hard for you to unpeel those layers. So be wary of you being defensive. Again, I really feel like the healthy way of going into this, whether it's working on a current relationship, going into something new, or any relationships in your life, wherever this could apply, I feel like you know, being vulnerable and actually, and when I say be vulnerable, like communicate. Tell somebody how you feel. If someone makes you feel a certain way when they do something, especially in the beginning of the relationship, it's really good to actually just voice that. Just say, oh, when you do that, I kind of have insecurities around this because blah, 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 blah. I've been through this before. It's very similar to this person. It just makes me feel this way. Being like that opens up communication. And, you know, so what if the person does react in a way that's not right? Then you know that person's not for you. Because at the end of the day, how I feel is like if someone's not there to listen to you, these are major red flags in the beginning, and red flags can really lead you in the right direction. Because who wants to be with someone who can't, you know, voice and communicate with them during their most vulnerable times? And I want you to keep that in mind. This is not about you as such. You know, it's about both of you. When you're in a relationship, there's two people, and sometimes we get so involved in our own self and how that person might react, especially if we want someone. I feel like we can hide an aspect of ourselves because we're worried that it might scare them away. But if it scares them away, they're not your person and they shouldn't be your person. And I kind of want you to have that attitude. What is for you will show. And I feel like actually it'll be a positive thing for you. Hang on a second. Tickly throat. I feel like I'm talking really fast, Pisces, so I do apologise. It's kind of how it flows through me sometimes. When things flow through me fast, I can't help but speak fast. When things flow through me really quickly, I sometimes speak really quickly, so I do apologise. Let me know if it's too fast for you, and I'll try and speak slower in future. It is just difficult. So the next is 6th chakra Archangel Metatron. Now he's a really great angel who is there to support those who are more going through enlightening times, spiritual beings. Now Pisces, you are naturally very spiritual. Pisces is actually my North Node, I believe, so it's kind of my career driven as within spirituality. So it kind of indicates, and I feel like you are coming through as very vulnerable, very spiritual, very in touch with yourself, even though I feel like you are detached from that intentionally. It really does feel intentional, like an intentional resistance, like really self-imposed. You may not be doing it intentionally, but I feel like it is intentional, as though it's like there's a reason behind of why you are resistant to things during this time. But this to me is saying trust in your intuition, trust in the knowledge that you know. I feel like what I'm saying to you will really ring bells for you, Pisces, in the sense of when I'm saying to be more vulnerable is the only way that you're going to know if it's genuine and things like that. I feel like you can really be in tune with what's right for you and what's right within this relationship. And again, this can be in all aspects of your life. I am reading this as a relationship reading because it's how it's really coming through me. So I do apologise, Pisces, if this does not seem relevant to you. But I'm just really getting this strong vibe. So obviously somebody needs to be seeing this right now. But I am getting like you are in tune during this month. So whatever comes up with you, I will just apply it with as though, you know, this is not relationship based. You know, I feel like there are options for you this moment. And, you know, there's a lot of fear based here. You're holding on to a lot of things that's preventing you from moving forward. So what will make your life easier is by taking that route of letting go and allowing yourself to be vulnerable moving forward. Be careful about being defensive in all areas of your life as well. And trust in your gut, trust your intuition. So I will show you the imagery. The third eye is really kind of standing out for me for you. So I definitely feel like you are in tune, that you can really vibe with knowing where you need to go right now during this time. And trust in yourself. So resistance is this. So this is coming towards the end of May. This is when we're in the full thick of the Mercury retrograde moments. We have resistance in reverse. And I feel like you are ready to give up resistance, but I'm definitely getting this whole resistance all up until this point. I feel like you are holding on to something that was a lot more solid, and you are kind of reluctant to let go. I do feel like you do not want to let go of a certain way of being. I feel like that could be a struggle for you. But I feel like as well you can see the freedoms that it could provide by allowing yourself to kind of be a bit more free. And I want you to have a think about that. Now the first row is broken heart, and I get this sense of, for some of you, there's going to be revelations in regards to a healing heart that you're going through. I do feel like I just get like you're hiding emotions. You're really concealing something that's really kind of got you in a way. And it's giving me a heavy heart feeling right now for you. And I feel like you're holding too tightly onto something with this resistance. I keep coming from the broken heart to the resistance to the broken heart, and I keep coming back to them. This is how they're literally sitting. Like, this is how I'm literally seeing them as they're laid out together, because I have a little ledge on my desk, and they're like that. And I've got like, you know, this broken heart, and then we have up here, and I feel like you're just holding on to a broken heart. I feel like this is perhaps the baggage that you're holding on to. It's a broken heart, and you're like, I don't want that, or I don't know. There's something that around this broken heart that you are just clinging to, and it could be that it's because of everything you've grown prior to this and prior to having the broken heart. It's like what you're holding on to, and you're fearful of letting go of that to build something new. I would like to say that, I feel. Oh, that one doesn't. There you go. Put a train on for Runebag. Let's move on. Now, interestingly, so we go from that broken heart, and then we go on to happy family. So I do feel like what you are going through is so contradictory, because you're going through this vulnerability, and then we have happy family. Like, that's a really great card to have. That's good times. That's a coming together, enjoyment. I am getting like a new fresh start here. And I feel like that's what I'm seeing. It's like, you know, by letting go of what you built previously with somebody else can really open you up to this happy family. And I feel like this is what all of this restriction and resistance, and the reason why this is in reverse is because it's the process that you're going through for the month of May, is releasing that resistance and kind of allowing yourself to kind of crack yourself open. And I think that is, you know, as I'm seeing this broken heart, this is you cracking yourself open away from that heartbreak towards the happy family. I do feel like it could be beneficial for a getaway. It's giving me getaway vibes, but I am getting celebration as well, and this can literally be a personal celebration as an accomplishment, and it can be spending time with family, just something that's going to kind of, I feel like, be revelationary to you is what I'm seeing for this end of May for you. We're ending with the gate, the garden, and the gate. It is in reverse. Let me see what she's giving me for you. I do feel like it is a time where you can now focus on what you're growing. Instead of focusing on what's ahead, you're focusing on what you're growing right now, which is really great, because I feel like in the beginning there's no focus anywhere. You get a bit defensive, not being vulnerable, and then over here I'm getting a much lighter vibe of you actually realizing that you need to focus on what is, what's in the now, and what you are potentially growing. To me, when I read this card, I mean, this is her upright. I feel like this is ahead, and upright, it can be like, you know, you've grown enough in the garden, but here I feel like what you're growing is, this is where her focus is. It's all nurturing and flourishing, rather than focusing on what's ahead and what's in the future. You're growing what is right now. You are focusing on building those foundations, which is really great. I feel like the month of May is very much a great time for growth. I mean, it is for nearly all signs. I'm seeing that in the readings, but for you Pisces, it actually really flows really greatly. I am loving this. Yeah, perfect. This is how you want your reading to go. You know, you have that kind of hesitation to, come on, let's get things going. So you've done it. You're on your way, and you are able to reap the rewards. I'm trying to talk, Rainbow. Sorry about that. So yeah, you're able to reap the rewards, and it is successful during this month. So I'm loving that for you, Pisces. Please check out the Mercury in retrograde reading. I feel like you will probably get a very similar vibe, but it may clarify the energies that you're working with during that time. So check out for that. But thank you for being here, and I'll see you next month.